Alright my friends, so today I have a very important video, a video that is very in depth with such important information about crypto. Today we're going to focus on Solana and specifically Jupiter, because today we got some information from Solana Breakpoint, which is an international Solana event. This is day one pretty much, and you should go and watch this video with all of the things that were announced for Solana. And, through multiple D applications, we're going to have a lot of applications to farm really soon. But the news that Jupiter put out in this thing the past few days is insane. And I want to cover them in depth because Jupiter seems like arguably the best investment you can make. But let me tell you exactly when you should actually do this investment. So if we go into the Jupiter price, you can see that the top value of it was at $1.7, a little bit 1 month later than when it launched. If you look over here, this is pretty much the same time that Solana peaked at $200. However, Jupiter since then has done major updates to the product and also major updates to the tokenomics. First of all, the Jupiter supply is going to be 7 billion Jupiter. Yes, you understand correctly, we have voted for a 30% supply reduction, which will be done incrementally. So this is not the correct picture over here. The 10 billion Jupiter will become 7 billion. So the fully diluted value is even lower. It's even healthier. And Jupiter right now is at 50% of its peak. However, in Breakpoint, there were some very important announcements that I will go through right now. Jupiter is also going to release awards from ASR, 50 million Jupiter. They're going to also put out awards for Jupiter Season 2 and again ASR. So we're going to get around 1 to 1.1 billion, 1 billion Jupiter in fully diluted valuation very, very soon. So the valuation of Jupiter will be diluted very, very soon. But what they have done in Breakpoint is that they have announced so many bullish things that I think that the price won't really go a lot down. However, you should wait till January to February, till all of these tokens get unlocked and get into the market to invest at the bottom of the price. That's what you should do. You should really, in my opinion, no financial advice, wait a little bit till then. However, why you should stick around with Jupiter and, get as many information as you can, because this is such a bullish ecosystem. I know a very big, extended introduction, but, I told you when you should buy in, and now I will tell you why you should do so. Again, non-financial advice. This is just the way I'm thinking. So Solana has done so Jupiter is building on Solana. They have the Jupiter swap, which is the main aggregator. Everyone is swapping through Jupiter right now. They've got a perpetuals exchange. They've got JLP. They've got their liquid staking token, Jupsol. They've got also Meteora, which is pretty much the same team or from the same team, but different sub-team. And I firmly expect Jupiter and Meteora to start working more and more together. But Jupiter has done some amazing moves. On their Breakpoint, they have announced 5 directions that they put a lot of focus on. The first one is the API of Jupiter. This is essentially for developers, and these allow more and easier integration of Solana and developing essentially. So that's important for the whole Solana ecosystem, as the majority of teams use the Jupiter integrations. Then we have the liquidity. the Jupiter RFQ, which is absolutely important. This will allow Jupiter to get prices and also lead your swaps and money into market makers. So these market makers usually are working with centralized exchanges. And as you can see over here, right now, Jupiter has already integrated on-chain liquidity from, for example, Radium, BonkSwap, Symmetry, Meteora, what else, Orca, and a lot of other applications. However, now they bring integrations from top market makers, which will allow Solana to have such more liquidity. This will allow us, when the price dumps, to be able to sell, which we could not do in the past. Or when the price go up, we will still have liquidity to sell at the top or buy even more if we want to. So this is super important. I firmly expect that a lot of swaps will be routed through market makers. A lot of liquidity from perpetual exchanges may be used through market makers, which will probably be bad for on-chain liquidity. I think a lot of these applications will have a very big problem. They won't make enough money and they will probably close down or be bought over from the bigger players. I think only Radium, Orca, Meteora can actually survive long term. This huge boost. But we will see. The next thing is that Jupiter is updating their perpetuals exchange with perpetuals version 2. They add limit orders, they put out new oracles for reliability so you get the correct prices, and they will also introduce gasless transactions. By doing this, they attack Drift, Zeta Markets, and Camino Long and Shorts. And this is a very big update, all right? This is a very big update on the perpetuals exchange. And this will be good for Solana and also for Jupiter stakers and people that hold JLP, as more people will probably use this exchange. However, people from Zeta and Drift will face so much competition. Also, as we've said with the market makers, they pretty much attack liquidity on-chain. They put out anyone that doesn't do good work and they make the others fight more because market makers, top market makers, are doing an extraordinary job. This will be a huge competition, guys. Also, centralized exchanges will start losing out because, especially on the perpetuals, Jupiter has lower fees for very big trades like 1 to 10 million. And they have pretty much the same things for 100,000. So Jupiter Perpetuals is going to become very competitive compared to centralized exchanges. Then you've got the Jupiter Mobile, which will be a mobile application built by Jupiter, will act as a wallet, and you can swap for free inside the Jupiter Mobile. This is super big. This is super amazing because it fights all of the other wallets like Backpack, Soulflare, Phantom. All of these have fees and they don't have a very good experience on phones. Jupiter having its own wallet created on mobile, but hopefully they will make also plugins, is very big because they can onboard so many people and also save funds right now from people, onboard them. They will also have one-tap swap experience, which is also good. And they will also have, what else? MoonPay, so you can buy through Apple and Google Pay or credit cards Solana easily. And also they update their meme coins Ape Pro application. They also have this Ape Mint, which is essentially a competitor to Pump Fan. And it's a very good way that probably people will use to launch good meme coins. So they can expect hundreds of millions of dollars in a year out of the Ape Pro application if they make it work, if they make it well known and used by lots of people around the world. Like, this is super big as well. So you've got mobile applications, essentially a wallet on mobile with all of these features, millions of users. You've got meme coin with hundreds of millions and millions of dollars per year, money making opportunity. Perpetuals, essentially you fight pretty much everyone in Solana and centralized exchanges. Market makers, where you stop depending on on-chain liquidity and also improve the liquidity of the Jupiter aggregator and the exchanges. That's also amazing. And you also got this API thing that, you know, allows development and routing through Jupiter. Essentially, you make Jupiter more and more important in Solana. The next thing that I want to talk about is that Jupiter bought coinhall.org, which is the leading aggregator in Cosmos. This is super big, guys, because the team expands and essentially Jupiter is preparing to become multi-chain. The acquisition of CoinHall is pretty much the first step in Jupiter going multi-chain. And essentially, by acquiring CoinHall, they improve their valuation, which is not reflected right now in the price, because they also get inside the Cosmos ecosystem, which is pretty big. Okay, you also get expertise from this team. And I'm closing the camera right now, so you will hear me through the microphone. So you've got this, which is super important. Token not released. They have lots of traders, which is amazing as well. And yeah, together they create Ape Pro. So this is like the first product that they create. So that's also super duper amazing, which is very lovely to see. And, you know, this is a very big integration and a very big acquisition. The second thing, you know, a lot of people have been summing up the things that are coming, but I find everything super interesting. There is also the acquisition of Solana FM from Jupiter team, which is a data infrastructure for Solana, which is a native Solana Explorer. So that's super interesting. I don't know how exactly this is, you know, beneficial to Jupiter or long-term wise, but I think they will have more and better data or improve the exploration of transactions and transparency of pretty much everything. So I really don't know. But it seems super interesting. Maybe this is a central piece, but as I'm not a developer, I may not understand exactly why this is important. However, we also got like, you know, this thing over here, as we've said, with CoinHall, which is super duper important. And CoinHall actually, if we watch this live stream, is super big on Cosmos. Which I find super interesting that they've bought out something so big. So the thing that I want to talk about, which is, okay, so you can see here that this is the #1 aggregator across Cosmos. 23 chains where Jupiter can expand to, 2.6 billion in volume, and lots of users. So the thing that I want to talk about is this picture over here that I find super important. So they're bringing a new launchpad out with airdrop, pre-sales, and more transparency. So we can expect in 2025 more and more coins to launch through the Jupiter launchpad, and also be able to conduct pre-sales, airdrops, and essentially have more transparency. So that's super important. Fox is about tokenizing predictions. I don't know exactly what this is. This is something that, as they say, the interns make. I don't know exactly what this is. I didn't understand through the video as well, but maybe if you understood, you can write down in the comments. And finally is the everything exchange. Essentially, what they try to do is create a centralized exchange in decentralized fashion. They're trying to make a decentralized exchange that is going to be as big as Binance or even bigger. Because Binance is very, very big, but they don't have that many people, really. And they've got lots and lots of problems. So, if this is true, we can actually see Jupiter doing, a huge jump from its current price value. It could do a 10x and go to the value of BNB, which actually BNB really does not have any kind of value, really. It's just a coin that is bought back by Binance and burned. However, Jupiter, due to its deflationary nature, in terms of that it has a max supply, but also because it's a governance token that in the future will have a revenue share, perspective, we can see that if Jupiter is able to create all of these things and essentially create this GAM exchange, the everything exchange, we can understand that holding one Jupiter is going to have tremendous value. A thing that I didn't talk about is that actually the fully diluted valuation is at 8 billion, while truly the fully diluted valuation is at 5 billion because the supply is only 7 billion Jupiter. So you can see that actually Jupiter can do an even bigger jump in the future. You also have got to think that you will have the mobile application you build on Solana, and we've seen on Breakpoint that Solana is building the Fire Dancer application that is going to significantly boost the transactions per second that the network can handle. So it's going to be really the only network that can actually, go to 10, 20, 30,000 transactions per second and be able, to keep up with all of the people around the world. And Jupiter is going to be the central piece of that. It's going to be on Solana, but it will allow you to have everything across every chain, if and when that matters. So you will have one token to rule a huge thing across lots of tokens. And this is super big. Jupiter has dominated Solana. And by going into Cosmos, they're doing the first step. Things in Cosmos are super poopish. If Jupiter can go into Cosmos, revamp everything, and drive people either to Solana or to Cosmos, it's going to be amazing. Because Jupiter dominates Solana right now. Then the next step is dominating Cosmos. If they can do that, because Cosmos has so many chains, and let me show you exactly what I'm talking about, because it's good to talk about things, but it's actually even better to see them exactly as they are. The mobile thing, super important. They can build on top of the mobile thing whatever they want. The market maker thing, super important. Perpetuals, super important. All of these things are beautiful. So here we see the markets, and the tokens and the things that you can trade and do whatever the fuck you want over here. So I really want to see what chains they've got. They've got Injective, Osmosis, C Neutron, Dimension. Imagine if Jupiter brings you the opportunity to trade all of these things through Solana. Or if they allow all of the people inside of these things to easily get Solana. Essentially, they can drive billions of dollars through them, through their application, over to Solana. This is huge. Or, even better, have an interpretability layer to talk between these two things. But still, this is super amazing. Also, there are swap features over here that, allow you to swap on Cosmos. And soon they were preparing EVM. So essentially Jupiter can also go into Ethereum things. And that allows them to increase their valuation. So instead of having Jupiter just on Solana or just on Cosmos, imagine Jupiter being a competitor to Uniswap. That's gonna be huge. And actually being backed by market makers and not only liquidity layers is going to give them that edge. Having the mobile application and thousands of users or millions of users is also going to be beneficial. So we could easily see Jupiter jumping 2x, 3x in the future from the current price. Easily. But one of the things that I want to mention is that Jupiter is having another 2 airdrop seasons. So you can actually increase your Jupiter allocations and your Jupiter value. You can really 3x, 4x your current Jupiter allocation just by getting the airdrops. But if you are staking, you can actually 2x, 3x your Jupiter allocation in the next year by getting the ASR awards. It's really amazing the things that Jupiter is making, the things that Jupiter is creating. And everything seems to starting to converge. And I think that the biggest thing that they left at the end of their presentation, the number one thing, the everything exchange. When this thing comes to fruition, when they can actually build this thing and be prepared on every spectrum, they're going to be valued at multiple $billion. Now just think that you have Jupiter next January, when the price will probably have a bit of a dump, when you enter. And then all of these things start getting released to the world. And Jupiter 10x's their user base and start do revenue share while building all of these things. And more retail is coming to crypto. And the majority of retail will be either to Ethereum, to Solana, maybe Cosmos, if Jupiter can create something that is easy to use, UI friendly, something that Cosmos does not have. So imagine if you've got crypto with millions of users, Solana with millions of users, all using Jupiter one way or another. And you have Solana at $200, maybe $300 each piece, each sol, in a year from now or 2 years from now. And you have Jupiter having everything on Solana, everything using Jupiter, but also having integrations for other chains that are quite more cheap, but again, everything routing through Jupiter. Or you even have integrations of Ethereum and L2s through Jupiter alternatives. And Jupiter does revenue share. Let's say that they make $100 million a year and they do revenue share with the holders. Imagine having 2,000 Jupiters. We're going to get very nice returns. And let me tell you something. The value of your Jup token will be so much more. Because Jupiter is building something absolutely insane. It's like holding the Binance stock. So, Binance valuation. Let's see. How much is Binance valued at? Let's see. Okay. Let's see. Can we see actually? I'm not sure. But it's going to be probably worth even more than Binance. That's the most insane thing. So Binance 2 years ago was worth $60 billion. I think you get it. I think you really get it. And the valuation of Jupiter will be through the Jupiter token. So you can see here how much it could go up if everything that they're preparing to make, that they're trying to make, is actually going to work. So yeah, I don't know what else to say to you guys. Like, really, it just makes sense. Again, nothing may work, but maybe everything works. I don't know. But it just seems super interesting. And these guys actually get it. They absolutely get it. And I'm super excited to see what else is going to happen through the Jupiter team and the Jupiter exchange. Because I'm very bullish. They've proved themselves, and I'm super excited to see what happens. And oh my god, Meow just released something. This video is never going to end. New Jupiter essay. Move forward with burn plans. ASR vote. Formalize cut pact. Jupiary debate and vote. That's super big. That's super big.